It's been getting so cold out here. This morning I woke up with the windows open and just a whole bunch of wind keeps coming in. I was like, no, it's way too cold. I have to close the windows. Anyways, good morning everybody. Welcome back to another video. So in last week's video, I talked about how I was going to a professional basketball tryout over the weekend. And yeah, I actually went. It was 3 days ago, I believe. Let me just give you a quick rundown of what happened on the day of the tryout. Basically, the tryout was from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. But because the tryout was in Glassboro, New Jersey, which is around like 2.5 hours drive from Baltimore, I had to wake up super early. I remember I set my alarm for 5:30 a.m. and I guess I got too excited because I woke up at 4:30 a.m. and I just sat here for an entire hour before actually leaving. Now, this is what surprised me. On the way to the tryout, I drove through the most beautiful countryside. I mean, you had farms, there's horses, and I just happened to also drive through this small town where the sun was rising at the time. It was just beautiful. Before I even got to the tryout, I felt like I already had a great day from the pleasant drive throughout the countryside. Once we got to the tryout, we handed in our registration papers and they gave me this jersey right here, Delaware Blue Coats. I had the number 10 jersey. This is actually like a reversible jersey. So inside it's also the number 10 jersey, but in white. And basically you can flip it around depending on which team you're assigned to. The actual tryout, I felt like I didn't perform well. I'm gonna be honest. All the shots that I'm used to making during practice, for some reason on this day of the tryout, I just couldn't make anything. I still took some great shots and made a few shots, but I missed way more shots. At the time, it was super frustrating because I just couldn't get the feel. I feel like it's also because we barely had any time to warm up. So, I just felt like throughout the tryout, I couldn't get my rhythm. Especially when you put so much hard work into something that you love, for it to not go your way in those couple of hours during the tryout, it's definitely very frustrating. And every miss, right, every shot that I missed, I felt like I just started to question myself more. Even though, as basketball players, we're told to, keep our confidence. Doesn't matter if we make or miss our shots. These type of things I used to be like very mad at myself for. But now I feel like it's about learning from your mistakes and learning about, what I could have done better. Yesterday I went to the gym and I just went through a whole bunch of, basic fundamental things of how I can perform better in my next tryout, right? I still have one tryout left. That's my opportunity to redeem myself. So this time I really just want to use what I've learned from this past tryout and then basically not make the same mistake again in the next tryout. My second tryout will be the week after this week. So yeah, that will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is actually kind of exciting because I actually get to go to the airport, fly to Michigan, and just experience the city while, also attending the tryout at the same time. But for now, today is another beautiful day. I do want to go on a walk to kind of soothe my mind a little bit. And then after that, I want to go to a bookstore today because I feel like I haven't been reading as much ever since I published my book back in April. I definitely want to get back into it. And I found this like super cool bookstore nearby. So yeah, let's have a great day today. Afterwards, I went to this bookstore. The area around the bookstore was actually super nice to walk around. They had water creeks, beautiful buildings. The entire area just gives me small town vibes. The bookstore itself is called the Ivy Bookshop. Now, I've never seen a bookstore that's in this type of building before. Usually bookstores are these big buildings that are in a plaza somewhere, but this is just a standalone building. They even decorated the front porch. Once I got into the store, I was at a loss for words. The amount of books that are available in this store was insane. I probably spent at least an hour just strolling around seeing what they had. I found some interesting books in there. For example, I found this book about the author of Studio Ghibli, how he went about drawing the illustrations in the movie, and his process of drawing each picture. Whatever genre you're thinking of, they had it. I mean, each section was dedicated to a specific genre, and I was just walking around in there. The longer I was in the store, the more that I realized how difficult it would be for me to choose one book out of all these selections available. You can see me smiling in this clip because I had so many selections and I really didn't know which book I was gonna choose. Eventually, I went on Goodreads to see what people like and basically just chose one that most people like, especially because I haven't read in a while. I feel like it would be better to just read books that people find interesting and just starting from there. Overall, I love the vibe of the bookstore. I'm definitely going back there again after I finish reading the book that I just got. Basically, this afternoon, I went to get groceries and then I cooked. Cooking always takes me a long time for some reason. And then afterwards, I'll just be fully drained of energy that I can't do anything for a few hours until I recharge again. That's why I always cook big portions every time I cook so that I can put off the next time that I have to cook for as long as possible. Also, I almost forgot to show you guys the book that I got earlier from the bookstore. It's called You Are Here by David Nichols. I basically went on Goodreads and saw the summary. It's about, this story taking place in the English countryside, which obviously I'm a fan of. And then it's about these two characters that were living in two different points in their lives, somehow meeting each other. And then through, hiking, they were able to get closer and closer. It just sounded interesting enough for me to finally pick a book out of so many options that they had. And then when I was checking out, the store gave me this super cute bookmark. It's called the Ivy Bookshop. I can finally use this as a proper bookmark. Remember the last bookmark that I used? It was like an old picture of myself. Finally, we got a replacement. I'm really excited to start reading this book though. It seems super interesting. And then also next week when I get to Grand Rapids as well, I can read this in the airport or even at the hotel, or even just my spare time. Instead of being on social media, I can just open my book and start reading, which I think is a much healthier habit. Anyways, I think that's gonna bring it to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for coming along with me. We're getting really close to the year-end period where it's like, Christmas is coming around, my birthday is coming right before that. So a lot of things to look forward to around this time. Hope everybody is staying healthy, having fun with your family and friends. If you would like to check out my other social medias, I'll leave them down in the link in the description. Otherwise, I hope you have the best day today and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.